Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Selectmen's meeting, the 5th of September, 5:15. We want to start the meeting with a joyous, but also for us, less joyous, but we are going to say a few remarks about Kim Barrows. Kim has been our land use coordinator for 15 years, and she retired on September 1st.
This morning from cobwebs.
All right. Please mute yourselves on the phone, please. One of her special talents has been to be our party planner. When we do our Christmas party, Kim works with the Old Country Club, and mind you, we all pay for our share, but she does a great job, and it's a very lovely event. And this week, some of the staff tried to emulate that, and they brought in various food items during the week, and so it was a close but no cigar. She's also has 2 horses and has been a volunteer for the High Hopes therapeutic riding, and now that she's retiring, she'll hopefully have more time to go and enjoy that function again. Do your horses go down there as well, or just yourself? Just you. All right. So I think it would be appropriate to come around front and do the honors. Please join us. Put these out of the way. It rivals the Rose Bowl horses. Wow. Turn around and face the music here. Yeah. Good. Well, we're very, very happy that you've had a good, successful career, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Birdie. Good. Do you have any advice for us? Good.
Come back and visit.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
You don't get rid of me that quick.
Oh, no, the door's open. Would any of other people like to say anything? Chairman, departments, whatever. Speak now or I see you rising to the occasion, Mr. Chairman. Paul Ozell, Chairman of Zoning.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to take this time to express to Kim the thanks of the Zoning Commission for all that you've done for us and the things that you kind of knee-jerked on for us whenever we needed to. Really appreciate it. And I think that everyone should really know that in any of the tasks that Kim did for the Zoning Commission, and probably for all other commissions, she only had the best interest of the town of Old Line in her sights. So that, I think, is nowadays is something that's really special to be aware of. I think the Zoning Commission, with our tears, wishes you the best. I'm not going to cry. We'll both start crying. Yeah, sit down. But we wish you the best in whatever you do in the future. Stay healthy. We're going to miss you like a front tooth, maybe two. Good luck. Kim, I can't sit next to those flowers now because she made a comment before, so I just can't sit next to them right now.
Nancy Hudson, Zoning Board of Appeals Chair.
I can't let the zoning commission all the way. Anyway, but you did a very good job, especially how special Kim is. And I've worked with her for 8 or 9 years now out of the 15, and it's been very wonderful. The zoning board of appeals already previously thanked, but I'd like to say it again on behalf of everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. It's been really hard.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you.
Eric, did you want to say something? All right.
Good.
Shy.
I would like to express my thanks for the commission back in the day. I've been here. You've been nothing perfect. Going back, your daughter was my kid's first babysitter, so we have a long connection. Got me in here for an interview when I was looking to get a job here, so I certainly owe you for that. So definitely appreciate the work you've done, and wish you nothing but the best going forward. And thank you for all you've done for us.
Going once, twice? Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Soundview Gateway Committee's presentation. There's a PowerPoint here, and I think possibly...
Mr. Coliano said he thought he was capable of hitting the button.
And then I guess whoever's going to address might use the microphone just to help out if they can. Whoever's going to speak. Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I'm loud.
And
I got the teacher.
maybe we'll come around the corner and see better. All right. Barking dog.
Okay. Ken's going to get a good seat for this. Everybody see? Good?
You okay?
Yeah, I've seen this.
Before I begin, the Shoreline Gateway Committee is co-chaired by Matt Ward and myself, and many of our members are here in the audience today. I really like our members to stand up. Committee members, if you just stand, so that people know that you're here. John, you're here. And we just appreciate all the time and effort they put into this, and it's an ongoing committee. It's not just really getting started. Michael is going to be my guide in this guide. All right. So, Shoreline Gateway, you can turn to the first one. So, our mission statement was declared in May 2023 after considerable review. And it basically says that we are going to establish the Gateway area as a vibrant community asset. Please remember, this is from Otter Rock to just beyond the police station, Green Ave, all along Shore Road, and encompasses Hartford Avenue as well, and the Soundview area. We would like to promote a unified and effective zoning strategy to encourage a responsible development mix of residential, neighborhood, commercial, and recreational uses for that area. And that was what we came up with. There will be time for questions at the end. And then our vision statement was that the Shoreline Gateway community will be a thriving, welcoming, family-friendly place for residents and visitors year-round. That we approved at our meeting in August after a few revisions. So the community survey was done from September 2022 to October 9th, 2022. It was online. You could click on a link and do it through your home computers. We had 1,205 people respond to the survey, and Advanced Connecticut told us that's a great number to get on a town-wide survey. 827 of those respondents were full-time residents, 282 were seasonal, 64 were both residents and business owners, 11 were business owners only, and 21 respondents didn't really identify their residency. Next slide, please. So our key findings. So we took all the surveys. There were about 68 questions in total. And we realized it was a very lengthy survey, but we wanted everyone's opinion, and we wanted to know what they thought about various things. So 5 key findings that we found were that people wanted the family-friendly charm that we find in the Soundview Village District. and it's very important for residents and also for our vacationers. We also noticed that we should build upon the walkable village that is there and that will continue to be a positive improvement for the area. Light must be addressed in both Downview and the Shore Road commercial zone, but we did realize that since the time we took the survey till now, we have seen some changes happening, which are all positive. In addition, the town should remediate light and noise pollution and keep that in mind as we move forward. We would like to see, or those people that responded, that new businesses should support local residents and visitors should be encouraged, such as restaurants and a bakery. Bakery was a very hot topic in our survey findings. And also, the majority of the respondents have a positive outlook for the future of this area. Next, please. So we took those 5 key findings and said, okay, what are we going to do? And we have proposed actions. And what we're going to do at our next meeting is divide up. There are 5 key findings, and we are going to divide up for 2 people per finding to do some more considerable research and look at the proposed actions. So, people love the Downview Carousel, the donut sales, the bocce courts, and for many people who respond to this is a family tradition that they do every year, even those that do not reside in the area, but reside in the lawn. Actually, I was there last night, and there's somebody who lives at Rogers Lake, and she went on the beach for a week every summer. And she takes a week off, and just goes to the beach after everyone is gone. She says it's her best time of the year. Her whole family was with her last night in Downview. So proposed actions, explore ideas to build upon the area's summer family fun possibilities, and actively promote existing activities and businesses, ensuring that our weekly vacationers know that they have plenty of options and return year after year. So next, also to enhance Downview District as a walkable village. So respondents appreciate their value in the proximity to the beach and the ability to walk to businesses from homes or cottages. Our proposed actions are to upgrade and build upon the walkable village concept, consider some mixed-use possibilities of current and future buildings to create residential opportunities, to determine if this could benefit our need to create affordable housing for young professionals or seniors who wish to downsize. And the committee knows they must remember that parking needs, wastewater, and walkability all have to be considered for any future plan. Address light to enhance the entire area. Respondents said we see light as a major problem in attracting home buyers to the area. Also for visitors, respondents noted the overuse of business signage, light and noise pollution are taking away from an attractive shoreline gateway. And our actions for this are to attract visitors and new residents to the area while improving the property values for all. We're going to have to discuss with land use officials possibilities for an area of light regulation for just the shoreline gateway community at this point in time. Determine ways to work with property owners to clean up lighted properties while keeping the charm of a seaside village. Research ways to improve business signage. Review current zoning regulations involving signage. Consider town ordinances to reduce the number of signs for business. Evaluate the size of business signs. Find ways to work with business owners to develop an eye-catching, attractive signs that enhance the area. And find ways to address light and noise pollution. Review the regulations that address dark skies and noise levels. And then developing small businesses that meet our local needs. Today, they would like, respondents said, we would like the small businesses we would like to work with them. Recreation and leisure interests, but also amenities. And they prefer unique restaurants rather than chain businesses. And suggestions included cafes, delis, bakeries, coffee shops, microbreweries, and wine bars. Our proposed actions are to possibly undertake an economic impact study to determine what level of business development can be supported by the local population year-round, considering both the summer and year-round residents. In addition to considering restaurants and entertainment, seek out potential recreational activities such as mini golf, pickleball, and evaluate developing a seasonal farmers market for residents and summer visitors down in that area. Evaluate services that can meet the needs of the area, as the laundry and smaller versions. Many of you may remember we used to have a laundry down in Step 1, post office. Today, last one is to have a positive outlook on our shoreline treasure. To keep positive thoughts and negate the comments that are made sometimes that bring us down. Words to describe the future of the Shoreline Gateway to be inviting, attractive, clean, and safe. Many respondents wish to support the Shoreline Gateway as a summer destination, ensuring that the area continues to draw people to our area. And proposed actions are to build strategies to effectively meet the vision of an inviting, attractive, clean, and safe shoreline gateway in Soundview District, and to encourage town leadership to positively support the area. These are our committee members listed: Scott Bullinger, Joe Tamian, Michael Foliano, Chris McHugh, Paul Roselle, Frank Pappalardo, Mary Kay Parker, Michaela Pearson, Jonathan Rotolo, and Kathleen Tracy. If you have any brief questions, I or other members of the committee would be more than happy to take stab. We'll try to keep it to 5 minutes because we do have a board of selectmen meeting to get to. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, this is easy. All right, thank you, Michael. This will go up on our webpage and will be part of the history of Old Lyme.
Thank you and the committee for the work, and we look forward to ongoing activity here. This is a good start.
Sorry.
Next on the agenda is the approval of 2 sets of minutes. The first set is the 7th of August regular minutes.
Make a motion to approve the regular minutes from August 7th, 2023.
I will second.
All right, motion moved and seconded. Any comments on?
I do have a few. On page 1, on the top, public comment, the first one, I know Suzanne's here, Scott Bullinger's name is spelled incorrectly. It should have 2 T's in Scott. And that he read a letter from Rose. It should be Rosalie Germano. Rosalie Germano. Germano. And then on page 2, under number 6, it says that under Miami Beach, second paragraph, Mr. Mangilio met on site with First Selectman Griswold and Selectwoman Shoemaker. It wasn't recently. In March, I met with them, and then Mr. Griswold went again later in the season to meet with Mr. Mangilio along with some other people, but I was not there on the second meeting. Under old business, project updates, Halls Road, it's noted that it's a 6-acre parcel on the second line. It's really a .67 parcel. And then
I just questioned the word permanent, Tim, under D on page 3. The process for use of town property, the last line, to allow the placement of permanent items. I thought it was the discussion of items that would come and go, but I could be wrong on that. There was not a recording online, so I couldn't double check it.
Yeah, I think that would pertain to, say, a monument of some sort,
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Those were the only changes that I noted.
All right, so those notations, do we want to
Amend my motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of August 7th, 2023 as amended by Martha.
And I will second that.
Okay, the amendments. Other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. The next set is the special meeting, the 10th of August. And that talked about the steep acceptance and certification resolution.
So I personally did not receive those minutes, and I also could not find them online, but it is possible. I went through all my emails and I couldn't find it.
I printed the email today.
Oh, you did? You
Did
found
get an email?
I found the agenda. I just couldn't find the...
I printed it off.
but I'm sure, Tim, you did it basically from what the agenda was, because it was just one item to include the steep
The resolution.
resolution. Yep. So I'm good with that, as long as...
All right, so somebody going to motion it then?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the special meeting of August 10th, 2023.
I will second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Wow. Okay, the next item is public comment. So we will open it up to the people here for public comment. Scott?
You want to come to here?
Hi, good late afternoon. Just quickly wanted to respond because I think it's on the agenda about Swan Book and possible videoing / whatever, cleaning out the pipe. It's easy. Question I have is I don't know who might be monitoring or not monitoring Swan Book. It appears we have a lot of volunteers helping. But it's usually at the end of, something happens where it gets clogged. I know recently there's some emails and whatnot going out with pictures. So the suggestion is maybe, creating a subcommittee or trying to find a solution to try to maybe manage it. And not waiting until we have an issue where we have a clogged pipe and then we have to deal with the tides and figuring out how to get somebody down there to clean it out. So the question would be if we could try to start managing the outflow opposed to waiting for things to happen. So that's really the only comment I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah, you sent in some correspondence, which...
Would it be okay if I read?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Dear Board of Selectmen, at a recent Board of Selectmen meeting, a letter from David Griswold and Sloan Dannenhauer was presented questioning any kind of political advertising on town property during holiday functions, particularly Memorial Day. Following discussion with Randy Nixon, Chairman of the Republican Town Committee, Mr. Nixon has agreed to prohibit any political advertising on town property on Memorial Day. We respectfully suggest the Democratic Town Committee agree on this proposal to fully honor those who have given their lives allowing us to have this discussion. Thank you for attention to this matter.
Okay, very good, thank you. Any other public comment? Here, yes?
Nancy O'Brien. I just want to
Yeah.
kind of reiterate what Scott was saying about the Swan Brook outlet. We actually have, several people who go down. I send you guys pictures and emails.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of concerned, being new to all of this and working with you guys. I've sent a lot of emails over the last 5 months, but I never get a response. So I'm just trying to figure out, so maybe Scott's idea of having a committee is a great idea, or somebody that we can reach out to. So a lot of times I identify it, or somebody on my team has identified it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time we email you guys, it might be the weekend, and if that happens, how do we get in touch with you? So just would like to be able to, get that resolved, and then look at when the town is in there cleaning it out, they are banging the wood, so the inside of the crib, near a lot of the bolts, the wood is all rotting away. So I don't know how we address that. We want to make sure that it doesn't all fall apart before it's even been here for too long.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to speak? Since we muted the phone people, we'll try them here. Anyone on the phone wish to make public comment? All right, thank you. Okay, the next one is the communication which Mr. Dannenauer read, so I guess we will talk about that as we can see if there's some sort of an agreement about that. I know that we talked about the principle, and there doesn't seem to be a uniform support for a course of action at this point, but maybe at least Memorial Day might be something to work on.
Jim, there was also 2 other, I only have the copy of one, but there were 2 others. How are we going to note when there's communication, like from Nancy or others that have a concern?
I guess bring it...
Are we putting this under communication? Because I know that in our July meeting, we've posted some on our website, the communications that we've received. And yet I know that we received some in August, and I have one that was asked to be read into, and it's from Dave Rubino in response to the Memorial Day as well. But I think that this should be posted on the website as well. So I did bring a copy for Suzanne and all of you. I know you have it because it came to your email. But what's our process going to be? I mean, if somebody emails us about a concern, or if somebody emails us about...
I would say if a selectman has communication that they think is worthy of being placed on the agenda, that send it to me and we'll put it on. We get a lot of communication and we're not going to read everything. So, I think we can depend on selectmen to sift through it and send things that would be for the good of the town, the selectmen's meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to have Mr. Rubino's letter at least go on our website, so that, because it is a different response.
Okay.
So Suzanne, I will have a copy for you at the end of the meeting.
All right. I'll give one to Matt?
Sure. Matt has it. You received this on August 7th, right before our meeting.
Very good. Okay, we'll turn to the appointments. The first item is the Affordable Housing Commission. It's a recommendation of the chair that Fred Fenton be moved from an alternate position to regular membership with a term ending 31st of January 2025. And to fill the position being vacated by Mr. Fenton, Dr. Fenton, we would have James Quarto serve as a new alternate member with a term ending the 31st of January 2024.
So that I'll make a motion to appoint Fred Fenton from an alternate to regular member of the Affordable Housing Commission, the term ending January 31st, 2025, and James Quattro, alternate member, term ending January 31st, 2024.
Second that.
Okay, moved and seconded. The discussion on the motion. Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Very good, thank you. Then the Conservation Commission, we have the recommendation of the chair to have Gary Gregory move from an alternate member to a regular member with a term ending the 31st of January 26, and Rachel Patton to fill that alternate position with a term ending the 31st of January 24.
I'll make a motion to appoint Gary Gregory from an alternate member to a regular member of the Conservation Commission with a term ending January 31st, 2026, and to appoint Rachel Patton as an alternate member with a term ending January 31st, 2024.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion on that motion? Ready to vote? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Also, within the communication about the conservation, it was recommended, didn't get it on the agenda, but we would like to add that I guess we'd need a motion to add an additional appointment to the Conservation Commission, which would be Suzanne Thompson as an ex officio member. The Gateway Commission, one of the Gateway Commission members should serve as an ex officio member on the Conservation Commission. So it is recommended that Suzanne Thompson, who is on the Gateway Commission, fill that position. So I think properly we should have a motion to add that to the agenda, and then we can vote on it afterwards if you're inclined.
Who's making the recommendation that someone from the Gateway Commission be on the Conservation?
George Ryan, the chairman, and I think it's, I don't know whether there's an existing Gateway Commission member or it's been empty.
According to the town ordinances, that is the individual who should be the ex officio member of the Conservation Commission.
But there is no person in that position at the moment, right?
If I may clarify, Peter Cable, when he was the commissioner appointee from the town, able to serve on the Conservation Commission for the Connecticut River Gateway Commission, and that's just something when he stepped off and Greg Patoma, Peter stepped off, I moved up to the appointee, the commissioner, Greg Patoma is the alternate. And I think it's in the ordinance that it's supposed to be the commissioner, not the alternate, is ex officio of the Conservation Commission. So that's just a transition we didn't carry out over days or thereafter. So I'm very willing to step into that role.
Okay. So it would be appropriate to have a motion to add that Gateway Commission representative to be ex officio.
Add it to agenda and then appoint?
That we're going to add it to the agenda.
All right, make a motion to add the appointment of an ex officio member to the Conservation Commission.
I will second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now we could vote on the motion to have Suzanne Thompson serve as the ex officio member of the Gateway Commission to be on the Conservation Commission.
I will make a motion to appoint Suzanne Thompson, who currently serves in the Gateway Commission, to serve as the ex officio member to the Conservation Commission.
I'll second.
And I believe that as the ex officio, it would not specifically have a term.
Correct.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you. All right. Turning now to the projects, the Halls Road improvement. Edie Twining and I and Katie Laka had quite a number of DEP officials come to Oline to the proposed Bow Bridge site, and they stayed about an hour and a half with us to look at the site, because this was initiated because they have a program called a concierge program, where you have a proposal and you speak with a representative at the DEP, and they line up all the appropriate people in different departments of the DEP that might have jurisdiction. So there were probably a dozen of them, quite an entourage, but they ranged from fisheries to land and all kinds of different tasks. So a lot of questions, a lot of conversation, and they made some suggestions about the proposal, which were very helpful. I was struck by the fact that fishing was a very big deal in the eyes of the department, that they wanted to make sure that there is fishing there now, but they wanted to make sure that fishing going forward would be very much an asset of the what we're doing, and it could be fishing from the actual bridge. There would be a proposed walkway that would go from the start of the bridge on the west side up in front of the bank of the river, where fishing could occur alongside the river. And they specifically said they would want the dock to be not attached to the shore itself, but maybe a few feet into the water, so that people could crab as well as fish one side or the other. And they sent us some follow-up documentation about how this dock should be constructed with railing heights and so forth to allow people with disabilities to be able to fish. So a very good session. There was a strong indication that the DEP would be willing to quit claim to the town a parcel near the Hangry Goose restaurant, which is a 0.67 acre parcel. There's a little road that leads to the bridge abutment it goes very close to the restaurant, and so this would be a parcel to the left of that, closer to Route 1, and it would, right now, it's kind of overgrown. It's sort of a swale, and a drainage pipe which brings water from the Art Association area down to the river ends in this swale, and there's undoubtedly tidal wetlands and so forth. So this parcel would enable us to move the landing from the bridge a bit closer to Route 1 to give a little more leeway to the restaurant. So in addition, we sent an application to the DEP for a trails grant in the amount of $28,500, and so that's in progress. We hope to be told that that's approved, and that may well become a larger grant as we talk about constructing the Bow Bridge. And I think very shortly the committee will be talking to people about the bridge design and so forth. But it was a good session, and I think there were very few comments that were negative, just some kind of focusing us as to the process, and so I think it was very productive, and we will keep moving forward. Right now the engineer is finalizing the bridge design, and once that's all done, the engineering will make that something that could go out to bid. Oh, I got to close this off again. Don't you wish you could do that at home? Okay, the next one is the Sound View sewers. While we don't have anything tangible to report about the forgivable loan, I know that the three beach communities and the town WPCA have been working very hard on trying to get this loan arrangement solidified and documented. Without it, the project really is likely too expensive to bear. And it's been discussed that there might be a $15 million forgivable loan that would be given to the entities that are involved, and that would hopefully bring the cost back into an affordable condition. There are some requirements for eligibility, and it gets very complicated, but I think it concerns the fact that the people who would be bearing the cost of the ultimate obligation, it has to meet a need test. And when you factor in the fact that there would be some forgivable loan, hopefully, there'd be some clean water money at 2% and on and on and on, it still could be a very expensive proposition for individual homeowners. So in order to get this forgivable loan, the DEEP has to agree that we meet these affordability criteria. So there will be more conversation by phone with the DEEP, and hopefully in the end it will happen. There are also negotiations talking with New London about our intermunicipal agreement. That was executed some time ago, but September 1st was a benchmark time, and it has to be extended. So we're in negotiation with New London about that. And as one might expect, there are rumored to be some price increases in conjunction with the extension. So all these things are turbulating here. Route 156, you've seen them doing work on the bridge in the vicinity of McCurdy Road, that railroad bridge surface. They've been grinding away and fixing the bridge surface. I believe the plan will be to pave 156 perhaps to the Cross Lane area before the end of this paving season. So that, they're getting closer to our work area. They're holding up, not going all the way to East Lyme, in hopes that we can get our ducks in a row and do the work with the force main going down 156 to East Lyme, so that they won't pave it and then we have to tear it up and repave it. That would be a big expense and kind of counterproductive. So a lot of things going on there, but nothing to actually report that we've had success with the DEEP and the forgivable loan. Senior center expansion, the towns of Lyme and Oline both submitted applications under a STEEP loan program or grant program. STEEP is Small Town Economic Assistance Program. And we did this with the Townwoods Park when we did the athletic fields. Each town applied and received $500,000. So we're doing the same thing with this round of grants, hoping it will be awarded in total $1 million from these two STEEP applications. At the moment, there are no other grant prospects that are likely, although that could change. So this, given the fact that this is about a $5 million evolution, why this would be very helpful, and any other grant would be very desirable as well. So the senior center is going to start phasing down during the month of September, and by the end of the month, most everything will be relocated from the senior center to other locations. The building will be available to the contractor essentially October 1st. The So the furniture and the contents will be removed and stored or disposed of, and so that's going to be a busy month, and there'll be activities in a variety of locations throughout town. The nutrition program will be in the Congregational Church, and other things will be farmed out around town. So this will be a busy month for the senior center staff. Ferry Road sidewalk, the easement has been agreed upon with the landowner, and so the engineer is submitting the easement and the engineering work to the DOT to get the go-ahead that we can go out to bid. This has taken longer than we had hoped, but if we can get the bid out, possibly by the end of the month, we still have opportunities to do the work, hopefully this year. We can go into the spring if we have to, but it would be nice to get this job underway, and it won't take a long time. It's not a very big project in the scheme of things, but it's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, so we're hoping this will enable us to get this done this fall. Swan Brook, we've heard about from some of our speakers that even though we rebuilt the crib, the tides and winds and so forth still push sand and shells and so forth into the pipe. We had an opportunity when some heavy rain, the water really roared through the pipes, and they were both broom clean, but we were not able to get the contractor to come in and do the camera work. So we're looking at the tide cycle, and this week is very good, but unfortunately he's not available, so it'll probably be the third week of September when we can get that big vac machine in here and then run the camera with the tide cycle in a favorable way. So once we do that, we'll be sure there's nothing surprising in the pipe. The seams of the pipes are no obstruction, and it may just be an ongoing problem. As Mrs. Bryan said, we may just have to have some people on the ground looking at the pipe, and it's, you're using a backhoe that reaches over probably a 6 or 7 foot wood wall to scoop out the sand, and it's not exactly a gentle machine. So it's tough, and we wish we didn't have to do it, but we don't want both pipes to clog up. If one's running, then it pretty much handles your day-to-day water flow, but if you get a big bunch of rain, then likely you need both pipes to work. So we hope we can get that done this month. Tantamaheg, we had a successful evolution about 3 weeks ago. We extracted some plants that were blocking traffic, blocking the flow of vehicles coming down to the landing, and we deposited them on the Frampton DeRista properties, and we also flail mowered the path down to the water, although we were not able to get all the Phragmites cut, because there's a lot of Phragmites there. So at least it opened it up a good bit. The sign that we placed out front of the pillars was removed by persons unknown, and allegedly some of the plants were replanted that had been removed, so we will have to address that shortly.
Was the sign replaced?
Mm-hmm. We got the sign back.
Oh, got the sign back, and then we put it back up, and then it was removed again.
Yeah, I saw a picture of the sign laying down near the wall.
That was the first time it was returned.
Right, because we had an email from Rebecca.
Right.
And saying it was
So-
in the end, or is that?
As soon as I saw it, I let Ed know, and he was over here that night, went over and got it, picked it up, and brought it, and then I think they put it back up.
I hadn't heard whether it was put back in.
I believe it was put back in last week, and it was taken back down. So,
Yeah.
needs some...
Okay. So, we will handle that situation, hopefully. The next item here is the Pond Road proposal. I know that we heard a proposal from Mark Mondello about the Pond Road being a private road and that the town might consider building a new road to the north of that or put a new road on the north end of the town parking lot to go from Hartford to Portland, or the other way around. We haven't really had a chance to discuss it, the proposal. I know that council has been looking at the idea of the minutes and so forth that were provided. It was alleged that the then president of Miami Beach did not have authority to sign the settlement agreement, which was executed, I think, in December of 97. I think 2019. 2019 rather. So I think we want to have further discussions with the management of the beach to discuss this. Obviously, if the road became private and we had to create a new road, if it were to be more or less parallel to the existing road, there are at least 2 telephone poles in that area, and it would obviously, depending on the standard for roads, it would have to eat into the town parking lot to create a thoroughfare. Personally, I think that having a private road for the benefit of the homeowners south of the parking area, I guess there's reasons for it, but I guess then people who live in that section of Miami Beach would need to enter from 156 and drive down through Miami Beach and then make their way over to their residences on this proposed private road. That might be easier on a weekend during the summertime, but I should think that, coming down Portland or Hartford to get to your house, except for those busier times, it shouldn't be a big deal. But I'm sure there are legitimate reasons for wanting to make that a private road. So I think we've heard the proposal. I think we can have questions and discussions, and I know Mr. Henson also has an interest in it. So that this will be, I think, now that the summer's kind of over, I think we can have more discussions about this whole proposal and get reactions from the board.
Is the town attorney still communicating with the Miami Beach attorney, or are they done discussing? And they were going back and forth, weren't they? The Miami Beach attorney and town attorney, have they?
I don't know if our attorney, because the attorney who worked on the settlement agreement is no longer the beach attorney. So there is a new attorney, and I think, yes, they have had some early conversations, but as to how much, that I don't know how much they've talked. So I guess the idea, one would ask if the beach was represented by council, that should count for something, I should think. But we'll need to get advice.
I just want the procedure, that's all, because like I know with Tantamaheg, we had executive sessions and the attorneys came in and had discussions, and is that similar?
Right.
This would-
I think that we'd have to move to some type of other meeting like that,
Yeah, I think so.
to hear from our attorney.
Yeah.
And there
Uh,
was, Matt, and Tim, both, I do believe that discussions were still going on last week.
Yeah. Okay, under new business, we spent some time on a state-mandated police accreditation. And I think, Matt, you are pretty up on this, but my impression is that the town of Old Lyme will need to participate in this accreditation, and we have to have benchmarks. I think it is either December of this year or March of next year, and then there are 2 more years of things that have to happen after that.
Yeah, a few years back when they passed the police accountability bill, they passed legislation saying that police departments need to be accredited, and they had different guidelines for post-council department. So we were going back and forth with the state because we're a resident trooper town, and technically we fall under the state police operations manual. So many towns, including other ones that I work in, like Deep River and Chester and Essex and all of them, the 60 other towns that are resident trooper towns in the state of Connecticut, we were under the advisement that we thought we didn't need to do the accreditation stuff because we fell under the state police operations manual. They came back to us and says, no, we still need our own separate, even if it says we refer to state police policy, whatever, we still have to have a policy created and made. So there's 3 tiers. Tier 1 is due by December. They start inspections in March of next year, and then there's 2 more tiers after that over a 3-year process. So a lot of towns are scrambling to get help with the accreditation process, and we met with a consultant who has done many bigger departments like Milford PD and state police departments, but we're the first that we reached out to her, and we're the first for her to deal with. So we're still getting some information as far as what is needed, but we're under the impression that we need to have our own full accreditation because we still have our own officers. If it was just a resident trooper town, just resident troopers, then we would be okay. But since we have our own officers, we need to be accredited as well, even though we're under the state police jurisdiction.
Matt, who actually says you are now accredited? Is that the state?
Post, the Police Officer Standard Training Council. They're the ones that will come down and do the inspections and the accreditation. So Katie Belloc has been very helpful in this process of notifying we need a vendor because we need software, and we met with this consultant. So we have a tentative agreement, but we need to vote on it tonight to move forward so we can present it to the Board of Finance for funding. But we don't want to be the town that doesn't get the accreditation because we really don't. I don't think they said what they will do if you don't have it. So I don't think we want to be that first person to find out if you don't get it, what happens. So it's a 3-step process. She's very, was it Badge 6? Badge 6 is the name of her company. Very organized, and unfortunately it's another unfunded mandate that came out of the police accountability bill that we need to fund with taxpayer dollars. And did I miss anything?
There are a couple of aspects. One is the Power DMS. That's a computer program that
it's a software that they use. They can't recommend vendors, but the state uses it, and it allows you to create your accreditation, and your employees can go on and sign on and sign off on stuff. So we just need the basic program to be able to do that, and it will link to the state's program as well. So.
And that has various modules, but after everybody looked at it, it seems like the recommendation is that O-Line would buy the accreditation module only at this point, and that would be $1,200. And then the consultant, Andretta Swift, she would lead us through these various tiers, a multi-year process. And as I understand it, that she had two different proposals. One involved, she called it proving. So I guess you make sure your policies are there, and then you also ensure that the officers are abiding by it and can be proven that they're following it.
Right.
And so I think she had, one was $19,500 for the whole process, and then if you did the proving aspect, it was another $5,000, so it was $24,500. And I think we were thinking of starting out with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then maybe approach the proving aspect.
Right,
of it.
I think that's future. Yeah, I think for 19.5, it was to get us through tier 1, tier 2, or
tier 2, yeah,
at least.
And then tier 3 is where the proving comes in?
There's a little bit of proofing before that, but I think that's included in some of the other amounts.
So our contract could include the option to include the extra additional $5,000
Probably.
at another date?
Yes.
Okay.
But this is over a 3-year process, so I think this year, as far as funding, I think the 19.5 and the 1,200 for the software it's already carried over from something else, correct? And do we need more? Do we need a...
No, we're going with just that module.
Okay.
Yeah, so the tier 1, the policy stuff, I think is March of 24.
Right.
And then there are 2 more years with the other aspects of it.
I think the 19.5 will get us through the next
2 years.
2 years probably, and then we'd have to regroup and determine
Yeah.
what the next steps would be.
And there's no other way around this. I mean, the state police and the A&O and all that, the manual, that's all fine, but we pretty much have to have somebody lead us through this.
Yeah, Essex hired a consultant, Deep River hired a consultant. I'm not sure what Chester has done, but I know we're not the only one that's doing this, so.
So I think what we know at this point is that the cost elements would be $1,200 for the Power DMS module.
Yep.
Well, that's already in carryover.
We already have the funds for that.
So we don't have to approve that.
Yeah, there was, I think, $5,000 for training, and that could come out of that.
Right.
And then the 19.5 would carry us for a couple of years, and so we have to get approval for that.
So you'd like a motion to approve, to bring forward to the Board of Finance the 19.5, the contract?
I would say the whole thing, and then we could say the sources would be the carryover police training money would pay for the $1,200 for the Power DMS, and then an appropriation of 19.5 would fund for 2 years, really, the contract with Badge 6, Andretta Swift, to do the larger piece of work.
And would you like the motion to include the possibility of adding an additional $5,000 at another time? If we do it now, then we don't have to come back and do it.
It's likely that we would want to add the remaining
Tier.
Yeah, I think she was pretty confident that,
Yeah.
because she does it by, she comes up with a flat rate, but if she comes in under as far as hours-wise, she wouldn't, right? I got that impression
Yeah.
from her, that she wouldn't, kind of like crypto, the ARPA stuff, like if he was under, he'd get it back, you know.
Right. You spend it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she said that she's made a fairly robust figure so that we won't be coming back looking for more. You know.
Right. So would you like me to make,
I would.
attempt to make this motion created?
it would be to do.
And the company is Bag 6?
Badge 6.
B-A-D-G-E, badge.
Badge, oh, Badge.
Badge 6.
Okay.
And-
Okay.
Andretta Swift.
Andretta Swift. All right, so I will make a motion to recommend to the Board of Finance that we use $1,200 from our carryover for police training and enter into a contract with Badge 6.
And excuse me, that's for the Power DMS aspect.
I'm sorry,
$400 for the purchase of Power DMS.
Power DMS. I'll amend that.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, Suzanne, you have that?
DMS. Power
DMS.
DMS. Delta Mike Sierra. Power DMS.
And enter into the contract with Badge 6 and consultant Andretta Swift for an amount of $19,500 for the Tier 1, Tier 2 accreditation process, with the possibility of adding an additional $5,000 at a later date for Tier 3.
I'll second.
Person Greta, or
Andretta.
Andretta. Swift, like Taylor Swift. Her sister.
I didn't know you were a Swiftie.
Does everyone understand the motion?
I seconded it, yep.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 I just wanted to say thank you to Katie for spearheading this whole process and this.
Yeah, she's become very knowledgeable. Good. Okay, so we will report that. Next is there was a non-rated nuclear exercise recently at the Emergency Operating Center. Each year the town has to undergo a nuclear exercise because we are within the 10-mile zone from Millstone. And even though it's could be uncomfortable to some that we're within that range, it's very beneficial to us because we receive lots of financial help to help us prepare for nuclear things, and they're very good at allocating money for the town. But the exercise was successful. They have regulators who supervise it, and the regulator was from FEMA, I believe, and I think she said she thought it went well. Every other year you have a more rigorous exercise, and there are evaluators that it's a different attitude. It's more rigorous. So it's important that it involves people on the radio system. There's dosimetry, so if there was an event, people would be wearing these sensors that would detect radiation. Traffic flow, talking about boats, schools being suspended, and possible even evacuations of people out of our town to other areas. So it's very important to stay active in these training missions. Under new business, we bade farewell to Sam Barnes, who was one of our police officers. Sam resigned from the department effective the 4th of September. So we will be looking to replace Sam in the near future.
Yeah, we have a candidate to go into the academy next month.
Okay.
Yep, that's a new recruit, but I think we're still looking for lateral stuff as well.
Okay, very good.
So is that going to be posted, the new?
The lateral, I think we have to have the discussion. We've had a few people with interest, but we're still looking. We will be posting something at some point, yes.
Okay, then, under other business, I'll lead off with the fact that the resident state trooper contract, we have it. It actually would be for the period July 1st, 23 through June 30th, 25. And this is done on a 2-year basis, so every couple of years. It's pretty much the same material, and so in as much as we're in the cycle, it does ask for the signature of the first selectman duly authorized, so you'd be welcome to look through the...
Just to correct, it does say in there, though, that we're still good with the camera system for the next 2 years? Even though we're ready for it anyways.
Yeah,
but
that was specifically part of it. I was looking for that, and I don't know if it...
So I know it came down from somebody that we were okay for the next few years. I just didn't know if it was in writing.
It should be in writing. Or we should add it.
I mean, we're ready, we have everything implemented and in place. We already spent the money to move forward, so I just didn't know.
Yeah, that's true.
What would we have to do, though, Matt, for training for that, so that people would know how to use it correctly?
There's no, it's just all the same, it's just a storage part of it. So if we had an FOI request or something like that, what I was told was that the state police officer would, you give them access and they would download what needed to be downloaded.
And retract, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the one thing that I saw in here, it says
Training for the body cam system. We've already been trained.
Body cam storage,
Body camera storage.
films.
in here, it says, the town shall respond to any freedom of information requests for police investigative records generated by the town officers by informing the requester that such records are under the sole custody and control of the state police and the ESPP, I guess, department, the state police will be solely responsible for fulfilling the FOI requests for dashboard camera and BWC, body-worn camera data generated by town officers and by state police employees, to include the resident state trooper supervisors and so forth and so on. So that's interesting, and I guess even in towns that are doing it themselves, the state police must get the request for film and process it.
Right, I think that was part of the discussion we had when we got the software, they had to have access to be able to do this piece of it. It's like chain custody thing.
We'll have to look through this and see if that same passage is in here.
So I feel a little uncomfortable motion. I haven't even read it. I mean, we're just hearing about this today. Is it possible that we could have a couple of days and just do a quick special meeting for 5 minutes?
Why don't I give you this one?
There's a copy? Matt, you want to read it?
That's fine. I'll give it to you. That's fine.
I have another one here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'll read it tonight, and I'll
All right.
send you if I have any questions or comments.
All right. Any other business?
No, I don't have any. I'm quiet tonight.
School's in session?
School's in session.
Pay attention to the school buses and the kids on the side of the road crossing the bus.
Oh, I will say this. Tomorrow they will start milling the McCurdy Road. It will not close McCurdy Road, but it will make it basically one lane. The giant machine goes down there and grinds it up, and then they'll repave it as well. So
Did you notify?
Yeah, we have some signs out.
No, did you notify the Board of Ed and the bus company? Probably not.
Were the towns milling McCurdy Road, or the state's doing 156 by McCurdy Road?
No,
I think
it's
it's
the
us.
McCurdy.
I'll notify,
Christ the King driveway to the end.
I'll notify.
You know, it will not stop traffic. You could still get to Meeting House.
No, I know, I just want them to know that there could be delays, because usually they'll put out a little announcement to the
Yeah.
parents, just to know that the buses could be a little late.
Maybe better to go up and around on Ferry Road.
And-
Right, they might want to
And the people bringing kids to school, I don't know what time they expect to start. It might be after school has pretty much got the kids there.
Okay, well, I'll just let Ian know, so he and Holly will be aware of it tomorrow morning and throughout the next, it'll take about, what, a week?
I don't think so. I think they grind and then they probably get it ground and then maybe it's a little intermission, they come back and pay. Because Old Shore Road was done pretty quickly.
Okay. I'll let them know that this week might be some interruptions.
Yeah, they did Roland Road today, I understand.
Okay. I'll look and see how far they got.
I can make a motion to adjourn,
I'll second.
6:31.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.